It is Tuesday, March 15th, 2022, and this is Baseball Today. That is my man, T. Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. Do you know that yesterday I dated us? I spun the clock back 20 years. People wrote in the comments. I said March 14th, 2002. So I got us in the DeLorean. Set the time travel back.
What would you change about your life?
Well, you would have been, a sophomore in high school?
That's right.
I would have been hosting Best Damn.
Would you have changed anything in the last 20 years?
I'm not one of those
God,
guys.
you got a good life, bro. Why would you change anything?
Huh?
I wouldn't change anything if I was you.
No. I'm just saying that. But if you could go back 20 years, you wouldn't change anything either. You'd still be the stud at Crespi.
I would have met my wife earlier.
She's not watching this. You don't have to suck up to her. She's definitely not.
It's her birthday tomorrow, people.
Oh, yes. Oh, Olivia, we're going to celebrate like it's
2002.
2002. It's going to be awesome out there.
What grade was she in? 7th grade.
All right, now I need to move on.
Whatever.
I can't allow my headspace to get there. It's nice hanging out. This will be our last day together, at least for now, but maybe we'll surprise you, and since we live about 11 miles apart in Los Angeles, maybe we'll get together occasionally for Baseball Today. Now, here's the crazy thing that happened. We taped yesterday's show, and within like 8 minutes, all the crazy shit happened with the Tatis injury news. A few hours later, the Matt Olson trade between the Reds and the Mariners. So we're going to cover all that stuff right now. And then when we put this to bed, the entire baseball world will explode again. But that's what makes Baseball Today fun. So let's start with the big deal between the Oakland A's and the Atlanta Braves. We had Matt Olson here as part of our John Boy Media compound team over the weekend, and then less than 24 hours later, he's in a 4-for-1 trade with the Atlanta Braves. The big names going back, obviously, are Pache and Langeliers, one of the top catchers in all of baseball that's coming up the pipeline here. So are you more shocked that Matt Olson will be playing first base for the Atlanta Braves this year, or that Freddie Freeman will not?
I'm more shocked that Freddie Freeman won't be playing for the Braves. I think, not that it's a huge mistake, because I think they filled it with an awesome person and a great ball player in Matt Olson. But Freddie Freeman, as Jimmy said on our show yesterday in Talking Baseball, he's a statue guy.
Right.
He should be there his whole career, and he should have statues, and he should be celebrated. But the thing about that is it sometimes doesn't work out that way. Apparently, they made this trade without even letting Freddie know. So Freddie was maybe taking a little bit too much time. I think so, because I think he's earned that respect. Saying, hey, man, this is kind of our deadline. We have something on the table. What do you want to do? Maybe they were thinking this is an upgrade for them. Not player for player, because I think Olson's just a tick behind Freddie, but maybe because of the money it freed up. They're going to have an extra $10 to $15 million to go play with. Hopefully they reallocate that money and go get, something else to fill some holes. But if you're going to get anybody to replace a guy like Freddie Freeman, Matt Olson is kind of the guy to do it.
He's about to turn 28 years old, I think, next week, Matt Olson. Freddie Freeman is 32, and you talk about him being a statue guy. There's no question, and if you want to live in that little world where you're like, oh, guys don't play for one team anymore. Derek Jeter and Mariano Rivera might be the only guys that do it. David Ortiz didn't even do it. He did it it felt like he played his entire career in Boston. But I understand the romanticized narrative with all that sort of stuff. Spin it back to 2012.
Okay.
The St. Louis Cardinals at the winter meetings the 2011 offseason. Cardinals had just celebrated a world championship. Albert Pujols, a 3-time league MVP, is up for free agency. Everybody was like, he's got to stay in St. He has to stay in St. Louis. It's like Stan Musial, it's Albert Pujols. Those are the statue guys, right? What did the Cardinals do?
See ya.
They moved on. He moved out to the West Coast, to Anaheim, and he played in 3 playoff games.
Yeah.
And if you look back at that decision, now I know that the Cardinals, they haven't won a World Series since. Mm-hmm. They played in one in 2013. They've had a very, very good team, but they have had a better run than Albert Pujols has.
Sure.
Right?
I agree with that.
So sometimes you have to make difficult decisions. You can't make them with your heart. You just can't. So at the end of the day, if they had a number in mind, the Atlanta Braves, and they said, Freddie, this is what we can do, and Freddie Freeman is well within his jurisdiction to be able to say, I think I am worth more.
100%.
And he should. He should get whatever he wants. He deserves that. But let's not play the whole, how can Atlanta move on without Freddie? They just got themselves a damn good first baseman.
They did, and they won the World Series last year without Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yep.
And he's back hitting bombs saying, I am back. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for the Braves team. You know, I understand how fans can be upset about it because Freddie is an iconic player for them. Right. But let him move on, whether it's going to be Dodgers, Red Sox now entering the fold, and then probably segueing into our next question.
Yes,
Blue Jays. You guys got to go to Matt Olson, Georgia native.
Yeah, I mean, lives in Atlanta, just got married there.
Handsome, too.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
strikingly handsome.
He's a great, great player, and I'm just going to make this prediction that at some point this season, he will end up getting an extension with them for 6 or 7 years. And people say, they'll look at the money and they'll say, well, why couldn't they have given that to Freddie Freeman? As I said, Matt Olson is 4 years younger. You have to factor that into part of the equation, although Freddie Freeman has been one of the healthiest bodies, and I think he's going to age very well. So if they had given him a 6-year deal, I wouldn't have been like, oh, my God, what are they doing?
Me neither.
Unlike the Pujols deal where it was a double-digit under the years column, and it didn't age at all. So let's move on. Carlos Baerga, former Cleveland Indian. He was an Indian, not a Guardian. That's the way I'll always look at him. He is reporting that Toronto is the front runner for Freddie Freeman. We've heard other teams mentioned out there, Yankees, Dodgers. Today we've heard Boston. We've even heard the Tampa Bay Rays. Does Toronto make the most sense for the guy who has dual citizenship?
No, not at all, in my opinion. Not saying it's a bad fit because you add Freddie to any lineup, it's amazing, but definitely not the best fit. I mean, they kind of already have a first baseman, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Slim Daddy Vladdy.
Right.
So, yeah, he can move back to third base, sure, but it's not a perfect fit. And it's really I didn't even say the Yankees when I was listing off the teams, did I?
Well, I just listed them.
It's a perfect fit for the Yankees. It's a perfect fit for the Dodgers. I could see it being a really good fit for the Red Sox. It's not a great fit for the Blue Jays, except the fact that they want to go bang the ball around. And if you add Freddie Freeman to that lineup with Bo Bichette, Vladdy, Teoscar Hernandez, Gurriel Jr., Springer, that is a menacing lineup. It already is without him. You add Freddie to the mix, and look out. I don't hate it. It's not the best fit.
It's definitely
not.
I
would love to see that.
It's
Watch
definitely
out.
not. Because you know why? We play defense in this sport as well.
Okay.
Can't hide him. And I don't want to do anything to Vladdy at all.
Leave him be, right?
No, he had an MVP-type season at first base.
That.
What the heck are you doing moving him back to third where he was okay, I guess, but I don't want him worrying about defense. I want him mashing the baseball. So if he goes back over to third, that could be a mess.
It could be third. I mean, look, first base is no easy position either. I've said that before.
But
he did slim down a bunch. Maybe the lateral range will be there for him. But I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
The guy just did. It was an MVP last year. Besides Shohei Ohtani, showed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vladdy would win the MVP in many, many other years. At first base, he got comfortable. There's no reason to move him off. Go ahead and do it if you want, Blue Jays, because it'll make your team. It'll make them better. How could it not make them better? But it's not the best fit.
I will be honest. I think he ends up with the Dodgers, but I think Boston is the best fit for him.
Okay.
I think Freddie Freeman in that yard, peppering that wall, staying on the baseball, continuing to give them really good balance in that lineup.
I'm sorry, Red Sox fans. I just can't see it. You know, like sometimes you just can envision somebody in a uniform.
I don't see him I think it's a great baseball lineup fit. Like, that's how I'm looking at it. He doesn't feel like Boston. He's too smiley and too happy. No disrespect to the Red Sox fans out there, but you need, like, a guy who's got a little – like, Freddie is, like, the nicest guy at first base, right? Like, he's welcoming everybody.
Yeah.
Although, you know, Sean Casey played up there a little bit, and Casey was the mayor.
The bottom line is Freddie Freeman fits on any damn team.
He does.
He fits on my blitzball team. You want to come play? Me, you, and Rotino.
Oh, gosh. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, the forgotten rotten and the smiley guy.
Vinny. Might have to take a hike. I don't know.
And people say, well, what does Carlos Baerga know? Baerga's actually been nails on a couple of moves to Toronto. He was all over the Barrios extension, right?
Yep.
He was also on, I think there were one or two other moves. It might have been like Springer to Toronto that he was on.
Yeah.
So Carlos Baerga has some sort of connection to what happens. He's got his finger on the pulse. It's not just Carlos Baerga throwing fire out there trying to get people to pay attention to what he's saying. There has been some legitimacy to what he has said over the years.
I agree. And he used to be in our IG Live chat all the time, so shout out Carlos Baerga.
And I used to love the way he ran because
Show me.
I have it was one of these.
Okay.
Yeah.
People say I will run like that too.
Really?
Like straight up.
I'm the worst runner ever. There's video of me out there running the bases in San Francisco during the World Baseball Classic. We took IT out there. So I had to run from home to second, and I don't move my head when I run. So I'm like this. Yeah, it's horrible. It's the most unathletic run ever. Go YouTube it. You'll laugh.
I don't doubt it.
Okay. Another big trade. Jesse Winker, Eugenio Suarez off to Seattle. The Reds get 3 players in return, Williamson, Fraley, and Dunn. Does this say more about the Mariners' direction or the Cincinnati Reds?
I think it says a lot about both teams' directions. How about that? But I'm going to pick one because I know you want me to.
Yes.
I want to talk about the Mariners and what they're trying to do here.
Okay.
They needed offense. We keep talking about that. A lot of one-run victories last year. That'll even out. You're not going to be as lopsided as they were. They need to score runs. So you bring in a guy like Jesse Winker, who can get on base, who can slug.
And mash right-handed pitching.
He mashes right-handed pitching. That's a little bit of a question mark there. He's not a platoon guy. You can't platoon him.
No.
But his splits are heavy.
Very, very
He's
heavy.
elite against right-handed pitching. Struggles against left-handed pitching. He still gets on base at a decent enough clip there. But this guy is exactly what the Mariners needed. And DePoto's just been doing it. Like they've had a great offseason. I wasn't sure how to process the Mariners in 2021. I kept saying they're kind of fluky. They're winning all these close games. They can't keep that up. In the end, it didn't happen for them. We have the vision of Kelenic kind of like in tears at the end of the year. But then you go and they got Robbie Ray. Mm-hmm. They got Adam Frazier, who got traded, guys.
Not Brian Reynolds.
Not Brian Reynolds. And now you bring in a Winker. And then, Suarez, I know he's had a couple rough years, but our guy Eno Saris put out a chart yesterday on his Twitter talking about how he kind of got back in the zone, started lifting the ball again. Maybe the Mariners can find something. It was more of a taking on his salary than anything. But if they can get him bopping again, I mean, look out.
He's still guaranteed more than $35 million.
That's all right. Their payroll's nothing. It's at barely over $100 million.
I get it.
So let's go.
But now the question is, can you get Suarez back to that 2019 form where he hit almost 50 bombs? Probably not. But he cannot be a negative WAR player, which is what he was last year in a full season.
You know what you can do?
Huh?
Go get Trevor Story.
Yeah, okay.
You got the money.
You do, and then you're going to have to end up dealing guys.
Sure.
And they're dealing from a surplus, particularly from the outfield right now, I think.
You got the A's trading everybody away. Sure, the Astros are in your division. They're awesome.
They're monsters.
Okay? The Angels, pretty good.
Trying to make progress.
Like, this is a time. They know their windows now.
Well,
like, they got to go.
Here's the other thing. With the addition of the 6th playoff team in each league, if the Mariners don't make it now and snap that 21-year playoff drought, which is not only the longest in baseball, but the longest of any professional sports team in North American sports out of the Big Four right now.
They know. Mariners fans know.
I know they know it.
Rubbing it in a little bit.
I'm not rubbing it in. I'm stating a fact.
Okay, fine.
That's what we are. We're journalists on this program.
I am not a journalist.
I'm not either. I want to focus on the Reds because I was out there at camp when this happened yesterday. I literally talked to Jesse Winker 15 minutes before he got traded. It was really unreal because we went there. They were about to have a team meeting at like 1:30, so we were like, okay, we'll go get some lunch, and then we'll see him on the field at 2:30. We are at lunch, and Joe's goes, holy shit, Jesse Winker just got traded. I was like, come on, you're lying. We check our I was like, we packed up lunch, we go back there. Now, here's the scene. In order to get to the back fields in Goodyear at the Reds facility, you have to walk past their quasi-loading dock. It's where they keep all their gear in spring training. Sure. We walk past there, and Suarez and Winker are on the phone. And it was a real emotional scene, particularly for Winker, who was drafted in the first round out of high school by the Reds. Suarez, you heard him in his goodbye press conference, how much the city meant to him and to his family. It's the part of the game that we as fans don't get to see. And it really, I'm not going to say I'm like best friends with Jesse Winker, but I've gotten to know him pretty well over the last couple of years. We text quite frequently, and I checked in with him afterward. I just said, hey, man, I hope you're okay. He shot me back. He goes, listen, man, I'm awesome. But it's a lot of things. His world got turned on its head. He's got a daughter, I believe, that lives in Cincinnati. And we don't get to see that. Like, we forget about the human side.
Sure.
All we think about is, hey, one day Jesse Winker's putting on a Reds uniform with Eugenio Suarez, and the next day we'll see him out in Seattle in spring training in Arizona. It's not a big deal to us. it's a huge life changer for those guys.
I mean, yeah. First thing you think of, for a guy like Winker and Suarez is you make relationships with people, whether it's, people that work at the stadium, whether it's people that work for the organization. I mean, that's real. That is the human element. Then you get embedded in a city and, you're going to get treated fairly well because you're a ball player, but you make friendships in the city too. And to have that, uprooted, basically with no notice. I mean, he had some idea that maybe it was going to happen, but you have no say over it.
Right.
He was just hitting BP in a Reds, outfit, and then just like that, pack it up, find a place. At least he can stay in Arizona for spring training, I guess.
Yeah, now that's the benefit of that.
But now he's got to find a place in Seattle. I mean, it's a big deal. It's part of the game.
It's a big deal. As far as what it means for Reds fans, I'm sorry for you. Like, when we heard about and I don't really want to talk much about the lockout, but a lot of the players were saying, hey, let's not focus on what's going on up top with the CBT. It's what's going on with these teams who aren't spending anything on their payroll. The Reds have sliced more than $50 million off of their payroll. Let's just go over quickly what has transpired here. And I apologize, Reds fans. Wade Miley. They got rid of him because they didn't want to pay him $10 million. He ends up on the north side of Chicago. Tucker Barnhart, I understand that trade. Stevenson is a stud. I met that kid yesterday. Holy shit, is he a mountain of a man. Castellanos, he opted out. We knew that he wasn't coming back. Now they deal Gray, Winker, Suarez. Now, it doesn't mean that the young guys that they're getting back, particularly in the Sonny Gray trade, and even some of these guys that they're getting in the deal from the Mariners, doesn't mean they're not going to work out. But this team in 2020, and I talked to a bunch of those guys, they were like, we were really close.
Yeah, dude, they were a really good team.
And then you add in Jonathan India, the National League Rookie of the Year, and that's a team that in that division should have been spending money to upgrade, not to tear it down.
Especially in that division.
You have to pay attention to the surroundings. And I talked to a few people in the Reds organization yesterday who said this is really on ownership. They said if you're not in it to win it, you got to get out. And that is the feeling. And it's not fair to the fans out there that you had people in place that could help you win.
In 2020, if you went on air and said, hey, Reds fans, not only do you have this awesome team here with some good pitching and some hitters banging the ball around the park, you're also going to have the 2021 Rookie of the Year on your team. They would have been ecstatic. They would have said, playoffs, maybe a World Series. Instead, we're tearing everything down. I don't get it, man. And the GM, I believe, I don't know his name. I'm actually trying to look it up. Nick Kroll came on air yesterday in a press conference said it wasn't a money move.
Okay, stop. What is he supposed to say?
I'm just saying, be honest.
No, you can't be honest.
Yes. Oh, Chris,
bullshit.
You can't be honest.
No way.
Just say, hey, we're looking to shed some payroll here.
Because you know what?
You know who
doesn't like being embarrassed are rich dudes, and that embarrasses the owner. That does.
The
people
embarrassing
at home
himself.
The people at okay. Now, if you want to say that, that's fine. It is a little embarrassing because we know the answer. We don't have to hear it from somebody's mouth to figure out and connect the dots. Everybody's smart in baseball land. Those are smart fans in Cincinnati. They see it, and I'm telling you.
So you're just saying, just come and lie to us because it's easier? I don't like that.
It doesn't feel good, but it's fine. Like, I get it. But here's the thing, and I told you this a few weeks ago, Cincinnati, and everybody else got to pay attention to this. The Bengals are a real deal.
Oh, baby, yep.
And Joe Burrow is a superstar. I have friends in Cincinnati still. Remember, I lived there for 3 years right out of college. The Reds know they're skating on thin ice. There's only so much disposable income. If the Reds suck, they are going to flip the page so quickly to Bengals mini camps, to Bengals training camp, everything else. It's going to be all Bengals all the time. And the Reds are going to be back a few exits. That's dangerous territory. And that's what this trade did. It continued to walk down the wrong road, in my opinion. Okay? Let's move on.
Let's move on.
What a shitty story this is. Fernando Tatis Jr. is going to be out several months. He's got a fractured left wrist. Surgery is possible. So, bigger story here. Tatis missing significant time for the third time in his 4 big league seasons, or that this could ruin San Diego's dreams of an NL West crown.
I struggled choosing this one right here because I don't want to be the guy to come on here and say, don't do this, don't do that. But prior to this injury, which we don't know how it happened. He said he was swinging an axe at his ranch. I swing an axe in my backyard all the time, so I get it. There were some motorcycles.
There's no way you have an axe.
Of course I do.
For what?
To chop wood. What else do you have an axe for,
But
bro?
what are you chopping wood for? It doesn't
To
even
make
get cold
fire.
enough to make a fire.
I cook with it. And I have a fireplace. I have several wood-burning fireplaces in my house.
You need to have video of you chopping wood, please.
Okay. I have a big stump that I chop wood on.
You do not. You have a stump?
Of course I do.
Does the axe stay in the stump?
Yes. I'll have Olivia send a picture right now. It's in my backyard. I'm a freaking man.
Whatever you do, don't
Chris.
send Olivia a text that says, "Will you send a picture of my stump?" Send it. Make it fully clear what we're asking for here.
Unreal. It's her birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Olivia.
Jeez.
Okay,
Listen, Fernando Tatis Jr.
About?
He's already had some baseball-type injuries. You get paid a lot of money. It's your responsibility to make sure that you are giving everything to the Padres in the city of San Diego.
So stop swinging an axe and riding motorcycles?
I would say stop riding motorcycles.
Did you love the question yesterday? So do you think that this happened during the motorcycle riding accident? He goes, which one?
That's not a great answer, Fernando. I love you. I love you, and you're honest. And I guess I just clamored for honesty before, so at least he's being honest. I would stay away from the motorcycles. That's just not what we want to be doing. Didn't Mad Bum do the same thing on a motorcycle? What's up with motorcycles?
Yeah, it was like, I think, an ATV accident during an off day in Colorado or something, if I remember correctly.
Well, okay. I mean, look, we want to see you on the field. It is a big blow for the Padres this year.
Like they're not going to win the NL West now.
It's going to be
those two behemoths in front of them.
It's going to be very difficult without Fernando's production. I'm not saying they can't do it still, but
you know what? I'll say this.
Okay, you go ahead.
I don't think there's no benefit of having Fernando Tatis out of the lineup for 2.5 to 3 months. I want to get that out right now. I do think it's going to force A.J. Preller to get more offense. I really do. It wouldn't surprise me if they go sign Seiya Suzuki.
They need a bat in the outfield.
Definitely. I think that they can't say, okay, well, we'll see where we are after May or early June and try and figure it out then. It might force them right now to do something that will benefit their team later on in the season.
Who do you want? You want Suzuki?
I think that's a great move.
Bryant? He fits on every team.
He does fit. So, yeah, I mean, I would say sure. In the meantime, Cronenworth, Kim's great glove defensively, right? It's just that we're talking about lack of offense. He had like a 620 OPS last year or something. It was miserable. C.J. Abrams, he's 21 years old. He's coming off major injuries. I don't know where he is right now. Maybe that's an answer. But the Tatis stuff, now, I don't want him to wrap himself in bubble wrap. I'm all for guys doing whatever they want in the offseason. But, yeah, man, did you see the line like the Padres never thought about voiding his contract? No shit, they didn't think about it, right?
Well, they can't. It's not definitive that it was from any one particular thing. He said it was early in the offseason, felt like it was like he jammed it and then starts ramping up baseball stuff, and I guess it flared up on him. It's difficult. I just hope he gets healthy. We need to see Fernando on the field. Not even Padres fans, just baseball fans in general. Bro, get on the field because we like to marvel at your talent.
Dude hit 42 homers and it had a 975 OPS in 130 games last year.
It reminds me of when I was a senior in high school. It's when I peaked my baseball career. I was so good, bro. That's what you remind me of. Me and you.
Text Olivia about the stump, and I'll ask this last question.
Okay.
Dodgers fan on Sunday out at Camelback had Cody Bellinger sign his arm and took a dare to have it tattooed, the signature, which he accepted. So on Monday, we see a tattoo of Cody Bellinger's signature on his arm. Do we give this guy credit, or is that one of those, what the hell were you doing moments?
For me, it's a what the hell are you doing? But for him, maybe he was like, is he all tatted up? I saw the video.
I believe he is.
Because if you're all tatted up, what's one more?
Well, it's somebody's name, though, dude.
Yeah, but you can always fill that in. Look, the guy's a fan. He's getting some press. We're talking about him. This is one of the best baseball shows ever be invented right here. We're talking about him.
That's true. I have a hard time.
Was it a good autograph? Because, dude, Cody, if this guy asked you to sign his arm, he's, I'm going to get that tattooed on me. Like, did he take his time? Like, make sure you could see what's going on? Or it's not a great one. I'm looking at the video right now.
It's fine. No, it's solid. I mean, it's solid. It's just,
He did. What is that? That's another one.
Yeah, that's Matt Beatty.
So this guy. Okay, hold on 1 second, bro. Okay, I'm gonna go back and say, yeah, it's a little dumb now.
Oh, so this?
Yeah, I changed my mind.
Threw it over the...
I changed my mind. We're just doing anybody's autograph on there.
I can't wait to. We're gonna go
next?
out to Dodger camp today. I'm gonna go find that motherfucker and sign his elbow. Let's go.
I'd chop that fucking arm right off if you did that. Fucking slice that thing. Holy, bro.
Bad idea, dude. I'm sorry. You could be the
Don't
biggest,
let Chris roast.
You could be the biggest Dodger fan in the world. This is just a terrible idea. All right, so I think we're going to try to get out to Dodger camp today. Hopefully, say hi to some guys. Yeah. If you're out and about and you see us, please say hello. We're going to be bringing a lot of the crew, and you're flying home tonight, so you can be with your bride on her birthday.
Yes, sir.
I want to see the picture of the stump.
I will get it for you. I can't believe you questioned that about me.
I can't believe that you have that.
I can't believe you don't.
An axe?
Yeah.
I've never wielded an axe in my life. I would be the guy that cuts off my big toe on the first swing. Easily. No problem.
I'm going to get you an axe.
We'll see.
Because it's going to unlock something in you, bro.
Let me see who I can get traded today. I'm going to go take a picture with somebody, tweet it out, and then 15 minutes later they'll get traded. It was funny. My nephew texted me afterward. He goes, "Can you go take a picture with Baker Mayfield today?" That was kind of funny. Mean-spirited, but I thought I kind of chuckled at it a little bit. All right, dude, it's fun hanging out. We got to do this more often in person, right?
I'm in.
Awesome. And thank you for hanging out with us today on Baseball Today. We'll see you on Wednesday.